Politicians in Brussels have started rattling their sabres as the European Union seeks to lay down its markers and roll over the Brexit fisheries deal, which saw the UK give up everything, an industry expert says. Sir Keir Starmer has been urged to act and stop fishers from the European Union plundering fish stocks in UK territorial waters. The EU has extensive access to Britain's waters in a reciprocal arrangement which in practice is more advantageous to European countries. EU members did very well under the Trade and Cooperation Agreement, TCA, deal signed by Boris Johnson's government and the bloc, with French fishers taking over 80% of cod stocks on the UK side of the English Channel and Belgian counterparts catching some 70% of Dover sole in Welsh waters, according to Mike Cohen, Chief Executive of the National Federation of Fishermen's Organisations, NFFO. That deal is up for review in 2026, with Sir Keir having already vowed to reset relations between the UK and EU. Recent reports suggest Brussels will demand its favourable access to UK waters continues in exchange for an improved relationship. British officials reportedly believe access to UK fishing waters will be a key compromise in response to Sir Keir's push for closer ties on trade, security, migration and foreign policy. Brussels bureaucrats, meanwhile, are said to preparing a list of offensive interests the EU will deploy in future talks, with fisheries high on the agenda. Mr. Cohen told Express, "We're seeing the first rattling of sabres with European politicians starting to set out what their asks will be and putting down their markers. The sense I'm getting is they will want to keep things as they are and maintain the existing agreement. I'm not surprised because they did very, very well out of that agreement. We gave away everything." He explained British fishers are in a worse position under the current deal, with quota arrangements in practice benefiting EU countries more even in UK waters. Mr. Cohen added, "What other coastal state has other states, fishing, vessels operating in its waters?" The NFFO's chief executive said EU vessels being able to fish within 6 miles of the UK coast was particularly rankling and called for a re-examination of that side of the deal, arguing if Britain had access from 0 to 12 miles offshore then its inshore fleet would receive a major boost. He described a David and Goliath type situation, where smaller UK fishing vessels are outcompeted by huge EU ships that can operate in all weathers and catch more. Without a renegotiated deal, Mr. Cohen said an opportunity to develop Britain's fishing fleet would be lost, adding, "We have an opportunity to strengthen our inshore fleet to create jobs and growth. We would lose that opportunity if we don't do a better deal. We need to take better control of the resources we have in the sea. By doing so we can increase our food security," he warned. Without a better, multiple-year deal, the UK and EU both risk having to negotiate every year, creating business uncertainty on both sides of the English Channel while fishers in Britain are already working in a challenging environment. Under the TCA, 25% of the overall existing EU quota in UK waters will be transferred to Britain over a 5.5-year transition period to June 30, 2026, with percentage changes agreed for the total allowable catch for each stock in each fishing zone.